Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Baggage.
We're back from hiatus.
We are back and we are better.
New and improved.
I'm Shayna.
Congratulations. I'm Paul, also known as Rutgers Mo.
We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of Excuse My Baggage. I am glad to be back to it. And it's the holiday season. So I'm currently up in Washington. We did Thanksgiving dinner yesterday. And I thought it would be interesting to talk about navigating conversations with family that typically happens around the holiday season. For those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, there might be some type of family gathering. You're sitting at the dinner table and, you know, the food looks good. And then someone hits you with the question, so how's your dating life? Or what's your job situation? When you think back to your childhood Thanksgivings or family holiday gatherings, what did the conversations around the table typically look like? Who was typically present? How were those conversations?
Pass the salt. Pass the salt. That was the beginning of the conversation. My mom made turkey dinner, as far as I remember, but it also strikes me that this is also the 62nd anniversary of the assassination of JFK. It was right around Thanksgiving, but that certainly clouded the conversation and the mood of the nation. On TV, there were images of JFK and what happened there in Dallas, and it affected everyone. But it was depressed that year in 63 for sure because of the assassination. Sort of like what happened to Trump, except that they were successful in killing Kennedy and unsuccessful in killing Trump.
Oh, by any chance, would you like to start over?
No.
No, but
Probably not. I really don't want to.
I think we should start over. I think I need to start off a little bit differently, and I think you don't need to talk about the like, I don't know, like you could, I don't know.
It happened around Thanksgiving. That's why I said it. Why don't you keep this part and get rid of the other part? This part might actually be better.
Hi, it's Shayna popping in while editing the podcast. I just have to call something out. So as much as I could try to plan what we're going to talk about and keep us on track, it never really works out. Just kind of like life, things rarely go according to plan. And if we say something weird mid-podcast, I can just cut it out. And trust me, I edit out a lot of rambling from both my dad and me. But when we are in real life conversations, at family get-togethers, in the middle of a work meeting, we don't get do-overs. So let this be your gentle reminder to give yourself and the people you love some grace. We don't always navigate every moment perfectly, and we don't get retakes in real life, but we do get the opportunity to respond with forgiveness the next time life throws something messy at us. So with that being said, thanks for listening to my little TED Talk, and now let's get back to the episode. So we're getting started again. Was there a specific topic that you feel like was typically brought up at family gatherings? When I reflect back, there was always arguments over something. I feel like as a kid, I just remember the adults always bickering about politics. But was there something common that you feel like was typically discussed?
If you're referring to your mother, your grandmother, your uncle, we were all argumentative, and everybody was always trying to use words or, arguments to prove a point, because that got you some bonus points somewhere. I don't know where it is, but we all got bonus points if we could score and basically shut the other person down. During those times, if you're going back, 20 years ago? So you would have been 7, 8, whatever. We had Bush, we had Iraq, we had Afghanistan, and there were political issues, much like today. Bringing that up at certain get-togethers can be dangerous because some people don't want to hear it. You're too far left, you're too far right. So a lot of people aren't speaking to one another because it's too difficult to be pounding in a concept that the other person doesn't want to hear. And at the same time, it's difficult on the person who's trying to make the point to actually make a valid point.
Do you have any keys for how do you gracefully end a conversation with someone that you just don't want to be in? Lying, yes.
Lying will do it. I want to give props on that one. That was Sam Kinison. He said, the truth will not keep you together. Lying will keep you together. I think to a certain degree, you have to recognize that you're not going to change other people's views at a dinner table or sitting wherever you are in the parlor, or that's a really old-fashioned word. Nobody has a parlor anymore, do they? No one even uses that word. It's generational. Let's
Okay.
just phrase it that way. You're not going to change someone's views. So what's the point? The point is, if somebody else is adamant on the other side or you're adamant on this side, agree to disagree and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Or lie. Absolutely. He or she is wonderful. They're great. You may not think that way. I'm not going to lie. Well, okay, great. You may not see that person ever again. If you can deal with that, great. The hell with it. Just tell the truth and move on. But a lot of times it's not worth it. While it may not be 100%, we've been on that topic last night, but 100%, not more. It's 100%. All right?
Now, would you like to explain a little bit of what is this
No.
100%? Okay, well,
No,
I will give some background on that. At our Thanksgiving yesterday, we had a pretty lengthy conversation about how if you have 100% of yourself to give, if you are a metaphorical pie, for example, you only have 100% of that pie to eat. But why can't you just buy more pie and then have 150%? It's kind of an analogy in regards to many different things in life. Someone says, I'm going to give something 110% of my effort. What does that mean? If you only have 100% to give.
You're trying to quantify something that is subjective. You could give something value, and someone else will give it a value, and it may most likely not be the same number. The reality for me is, though, whenever I hear I'm going to do 150% or 1,000%, it sounds wonderful. Metaphorically speaking, it means you're really giving one hell of an effort. But the reality is 100% is all you got. That's it. It doesn't get any better than that. So much for that. Don't want to go any further.
Okay, well, see, that's a good way to end the conversation. It's just, I don't want to go any further. And I feel like that's what I've done to you actually quite a few times when I've been up here. It's just we'll be talking about something, and whatever it is, I'm just like, I'm tapping out of this conversation. So I kind of just straight up say, like, thanks, I'm done now. Like,
That's kind of like a mixed martial artist then, huh? You just
I guess so.
you go like this and you
nope,
tap
I'm
out.
done.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
white
it.
flag. I can't do anymore. But
I've had enough.
yeah, something interesting we were talking about the other day too was when a relative or whoever it is asking one of those awkward, sometimes boundary pushing questions. Whether that's how's your dating life or are you getting a new job soon? What is the best way for us to remember that their intent is usually just connection? It's not criticism, because a lot of times when you have these family gatherings, you have a big generational gap between people that are attending. You're 79 now. You've attended a lot of family gatherings ranging from when you were a kid, when you were navigating what a divorce is like, when you had more kids of your own. So
More divorces, too,
More
and an annulment.
divorces. There's been a lot of different stages.
lot of
I'm
these.
sure people have asked you, how are you doing? How are you navigating this? So yeah, what's the best way for us to remember sometimes when we are asked those questions? It's not because someone's trying to necessarily critique us. I know there are some people that might be, but a lot of times the intention is just connection.
Small talk and lying will get you through. That's it.
What lies would you like to tell about your life right now?
Everything's fine.
Really? So are you saying everything is not fine?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I could
can't
be
tell if
lying.
that's
I
a
may not
lie.
be lying. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Well, would you like to talk about that more?
No,
I can't tell if you're lying. So,
I'm not lying.
well,
I'm not lying.
okay.
But then again, I could be lying.
You could
Who
be.
knows?
I guess
I
we'll never
don't know.
know. That's something important that I have been trying to remind myself too, is when
People are not criticizing you when they ask you a question like, I didn't realize that you were whatever. Excuse me. I just hit the microphone for no reason. It's as you said, people are just trying to reach out.
Yeah.
And they can be clumsy like I just was. I just knocked my hand into the microphone, but the intent wasn't to do that. I was trying to express myself with my hands and to communicate, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
That happens a lot with people at these different get-togethers. They try their best to connect to the other people, but unfortunately a lot of us fail. They don't always have a microphone in front of them. All they have is just the reaction of the other person. This is getting actually philosophically deep. I didn't realize that. If the other person is tapping out and basically thinking about what am I going to do when I get out of here, there's not much conversation going on. The intent was really to find out to some degree, how are you doing? Is your health okay? Are you happy with your friends? Are you happy with your relationship? How's your mom and dad? That kind of stuff. If someone's sitting there going, they're asking it again. It's boring as crap. Damn it. I hate being here. Yeah, that's going to happen. On the other hand, if you just accept it, it's par for the course. That's it. Lying will get you through.
lying or sometimes just disclosing what you want to disclose and then navigating the conversation, I think, maybe to an area that you're feeling more comfortable talking about. I think a low risk conversation starter is just, how's your life right now, or what is it like being Paul this year? I think that's a broad enough question that would give you the ability to say, where do I want to take this first? You might start rambling about, I have my health, this issue's going on, and my neighbor's been annoying me. But then you might start to open up about something that maybe you do need to open up about and are looking for that support. At the end of the day, these gatherings and traditions that we have, they take place to allow us to have those opportunities to connect with one another. It's funny, you mentioned something a little bit earlier about table salt. That is funny because that is something that my friend Anna and I will joke about, is sometimes we don't want to have these deep conversations. Sometimes we literally just want to talk about table salt. And that's something that her and I will discuss sometimes, is like, hey, do you have the capacity? Do you want to talk about life, or do you just want to have a table salt conversation?
All you have to say is pass the salt.
Pass the salt.
That's on the table.
The salt's
Remember
on the
that.
table. So pass the salt.
Pass the salt.
That is key if you need to just have a mellow conversation. And I think that sometimes I get very introspective, if you will, about what people are talking about. For example, if I was at a restaurant, I tend to find myself getting overwhelmed and comparing, what conversation am I having with whoever I'm with versus what are other people discussing? And is my conversation and I find myself doing that quite a bit, where I'm like, am I having a normal dialogue right now? A lot of times I just want to be silent. I just want to enjoy my meal and eat. But I feel like there's also this pressure. We must be talking all the time. We must be having these dialogues and dive into the nitty gritty. I don't know if you ever feel that way, but there's a lot of times when I will compare, what are they talking about? Like, I wish I could just go over to the table sometime. I feel like I should.
I think you should do that.
And be like, hey.
I found your conversation is more interesting than mine. Pardon me for a minute. Go over there and just say, I heard what he said a few moments ago. He's full of shit. This is what you need to know. And then just jump in. It's kind of like a Woody Allen movie with Annie Hall. You'd have to see it, but if you get a chance, watch it sometime. You might enjoy it. But our sole listener might know that as well. And in either case, let's move on.
Well, with that being said, I wanted to express gratitude as well. I think that was a very lovely Thanksgiving dinner that we had yesterday.
By the way, when you said you were introspective, what's the reverse of that? I mean, like not being introspective or extrospective?
I think that's not the word I was looking for. It's more I overthink. Maybe this is just ADHD. I'm not really sure, but it's just the whole, I get so overwhelmed of I can't I'm trying to pay attention to the conversation that I'm having, and then there's people talking next to me, and then I get curious of what's that person over there talking about, and then I hear laughter on the other side of the restaurant, and then I'm like, am I not funny? Why am I not laughing? Should I be laughing right now? What's going on? And then I'm like, should I just shut up? Pass the salt, I guess. I don't know. So it's not maybe introspective. I think it's more I just overthink sometimes, and
well, you're doing kind of like a takeoff on Joe Pesci from Goodfellas. Am I funny? How am I funny? You'd have to take a look at that as well, and look at Joe Pesci doing his routine on how am I funny, and you'll see it. If you're paying attention to the person that you're with, but you're being distracted by all these other things, that could be some form of ADHD. Who the hell knows?
Diagnose my.
But you don't want to talk about that either. I don't think. I don't want to talk about it.
Talk about what?
ADHD.
Okay, well, I'm no therapist.
Attention deficit or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all fine. With that being said, by next Thanksgiving, the time that the holidays roll around again next year, what updates do you hope that both you and I will be able to share at the dinner table?
Well, that we saw each other a number of other times and you didn't tap out, or I didn't tap out. I've tapped out also, and that's something I'd like to work on. I would hope that you're doing well in your job, and your relationship, whatever that status is something that's moving in the right direction for you, and that your quest for adventure has been successful, and that you're not constantly looking for something to fill that void and plug it in with adventure.
Thank you. Well said. I hope that you have plenty of other happy updates to share, next year as well. I hope Rutgers wins some more sport games.
You had to bring that up.
I had
Jesus.
to. I hope they win. If you are unaware, my dad went to Rutgers University and is a very avid supporter of the collegiate sporting events that Rutgers puts on, and unfortunately
participates in.
Participates in.
We participate in, and then there's theoretically a chance that we're going to win, but no, it
It's
doesn't work
low.
out that way.
Well,
No.
I hope that they
Well, thank you.
get it together and hopefully win. I hope that you have good health going into this next year.
And you too.
And yeah, I hope you have more good Fridays with the boys and getting pizza and
Vicks.
enjoying that. Vic's Pizza. And yeah, I'm excited to see you more in the new year too. But 2026 will be a good year. Good vibes, good health, and a
Likewise.
lot of salt.
Yeah, pass the salt.
Pass the salt. Okay. Well, with that being said, any closing remarks?
I want to make it clear to any of our soul listeners, we're back.
And better than ever, I'm wishing you all a lovely holiday season, and we will see you on the next episode of Excuse My Baggage.